a bottle before going to Kakariko and things like that.
I don't know if we go. Let's see what we find. We find a key in the chest of the sanctuary, and in Link's house, we find a 300 drop. That's pretty nice to have early game.
That is a green pendant on Hera, and a regular pendant on Eastern, and a regular crystal on Desert. Marty going up to the uncle first, but he's not doing the tree pull you usually see when people do this start. Draco's going east for the guaranteed bombs, but doesn't find any, but continues anyway. While Raylan Tank here and Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna are both going up for a lumberjack check, getting a tree pull on the way, getting 80 rupees.
This is what the uncle had. The other chest in that part of the beginning sequence just had a 20 rupee on the ledge. It looked like just some arrows.
Yeah, well, Aga will not be required for lumberjack at least. But there's other reasons they could be forced to do Aga. Like for Dark World access.
Kakariko, we got a 300 in the back of the tavern. And we'll see what else we have. But it's two out of our four runners, rather, I could do math, are in Lost Woods, picking up what's there, and just some bombs from the vendor there, which is good. Bombs in, looks like that was a mirror. Did I just miss a mirror?
I think they got a mirror, yeah. Marty and Draco will get that eventually as they make their way up to Kakariko to the Lost Woods.
Draco grabs a bottle, which will help in the continued routing. Kakariko some bombs at 20, and another rupee drop there. So I think very exciting, and go get the bottle, so I think will help with clearing out Kakariko, not having to do another revisit.
So Marty does have the single bomb, so he could do the bomb shack, but instead opts to buy some bombs, which is significantly faster, but, you know, costs 50 rupees.
A lot of bomb pickups here in Kakariko. There's some in the chicken hut, and as mentioned before, in the bottle vendor. And we'll see what's in Blindside now.
I think there was some in the well, too. It's pretty common, though. Ever since they took the capacity upgrades out of the game, or not out of the game, but moved them out of chess, it was very common to find bombs in Kakariko.
Got a lamp in Blind's Hut, so that'll be helpful, although I'm sure most of our runners here probably adapted these dark room areas. Lamp is always a welcome sight, as well as a hook shot.
Yeah, hook shot's a very nice item to pick up early in the game.
Alright, so Kakariko business picking up just a little bit with those two pickups, and hopefully we'll get to see what our stun prize is for that hook shot.
Even finding a bottle here in Kakariko. Be able to check Sick Kid before we leave.
Memory serves correct, Sick Kid just gave away 20 rupees. That was his daily allowance.
A little annoying though for Marty, who came from the bottom of Kakariko, has to walk back down to get to Sick Kid.
I saw that we did get a library ledge check earlier from one of our runners, although I didn't see what was on that ledge.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm gonna get some books.
Two of them will be going there shortly, though, who came from the top.
Draco picks up his mirror and is going to be heading out of the Lost Woods shortly.
It looks like he's going to head over to check Lumberjack before he leaves, though.
definitely not a bad peace of mind check. Some people do put it off. I know that I'm the type of person that would want to sort of put that to rest right away, or to anxiety, depending on what's on that ledge.
Yeah, it's a pretty common play to wait to check Lumberjack until you have the boots. Because the boots will lock whatever is there anyway.
That's absolutely right. And Raymond looks like he's just going to go ahead and do that blind race game here. And it was a heart container on top of that library ledge, so someone really loves reading books.
₹20 on the race game, not really worth it, but Raylan already did it, might as well pick it up.
Likely going to get the tail sword check. Oh, sorry about that.
Oh no, I was just saying Mr. Scruffer, however, checks the race game first and will not be getting those ₹20, saving him a little bit of time.
It looks like Raylan and Draco are going to go ahead and do that South Shore and Dam check. Quite a few items here. You also can loop around and do Ice Palace. No Blue Pearl yet, so fake flippering is not really an option.
Every now and then, you'll see somebody do like a fake flipper just to get Hobo, but it's a bit inefficient to walk all the way down to the fake flipper spot just for one item.
Alright, well, we're about to see what's in the murky waters of the Drain Dam, and just 50 rupees. Still gonna pick that up though, because it's Zora money, and that puts Draco over the 500 threshold. Raylan opting not to, but also at 660 at this point.
Mr. Scruff doing a hula hand to get some rupees. I'm not sure what happened to make him have so much fewer rupees than everybody else.
You know, I was just thinking earlier how I don't see as much hula hand these days as I used to, but this game and its players have proved higher.
Oh, he didn't check Link's house. That's what it was.
Alright, we have 5 items in here. We have the arrow. We have 300 rupees, so rupees really not a concern for the 20. And we got the glove and the mushroom.
Early fetch quests are always fun. I'm a big fan of turning in early fetch quests really early, because it's just, it's really telling. Like, as far as like logic rating goes, the earlier you get the fetch quest, the more likely it is that it's going to be some progression item. But just as often, it's nothing at all.
I agree with that, just as often nothing at all. But I agree that, again, getting those fetch quests out of the way that are kind of one-offs are a good idea early on.
Right now we have Gloves, Lamp, and Hookshot, which is screaming East Death Mountain.
Yeah, there is definitely a nice density of items out that way. I would not be surprised to see our runners head there shortly. We'll see what they end up doing.
Looks like Raylan might give us a fake flipper over to turn in the mushroom. Yep. This is the fastest way to get to the potion shop when you don't have the flip.
Also, with those gloves, you do have the 3 chests in the back of the escape, though. Again, not hugely dense and maybe not as attractive as East Death Mountain at this point.
Yeah, I think the thing with the back of escape is that you can't really pair it with anything else. Like, there's no items that's going to make that a more efficient check later, so it's something that you typically do really early as soon as you have the gloves. That's why we see Marty go in there now. Raylan resets his game, but Mushroom ended up not being anything, so he's going to hang on to that Mushroom to have the option to fake flipper or fake powder later.
Looks like we do have Marty doing that back of escape 3 chest check as Draco's going East Death Mountain, or Death Mountain and East Death Mountain. The back of escape having absolutely nothing unless you are a lover of shields.
be able to grab that dark cross chest as well, the lamp making this quite simple.
Looks like Rico got smushed by some falling cabbages on Death Mountain.
Yeah, the mountain's kind of dangerous on 4 hearts.
I mean, with a name like Death Mountain, who'd have known?
Oh, that's why they call it that.
Looks like the Dark Cross had a bottle full of green goo, so really nothing in that escape sequence. 300 on Spectacle Rock, though.
Draco wants to hookshot that heart container. It's not gonna work.
I mean, come on, game logic. Why can't you pull a heart back with the spiky retractable? We are going to get a hint tile as well here with picking up that heart container, and it's a heart container is in the chest requiring a specialist to unlock, so the purple chest looks like it's also got a heart container.
Kind of a nice hint to know you don't have to do that. Sometimes it's really difficult to route in the purple chest.
We also did get a hobo check, and it was just a red meringue.
Yeah, Mr. Scruff Ninja here doing the fake flipper over to the Zora area, but without that Moon Pearl, he's not going to be able to get the Waterfall Fairy checks on the same trip.
I mean, I guess you could hope for something that's a progression that would... Interesting move.
Yeah, Zora is in logic, so this absolutely could be something logically accessible. The Zora ledge was only 3 bombs though, so he won't be able to he won't have to come back for that.
Draco getting deadrocked quite a bit. He has 1 heart, but has a couple of opportunities to get some hearts here on East Death Mountain, as we see the first 2 item pickup here.
Just some bombs from Zora.
Ooh, half magic, and I think that might have been the 4th bottle in this stream. Not the 4th bottle for Draco, but I think we found all the bottles at this point.
Yeah, all the bottles for early on in this scene.
Alright, Death Mountain, what do we got? We got a couple of pieces of heart. And then we also have a heart container, and then also a piece of heart. And, oh, blue mail. I was hoping for another piece of heart.
It was a Turtle Rock pendant, and then the red crystals at Swamp and Mire. Mr. Scruff giving us an early Sahasrahla check. Will he go into Eastern, though? He will.
Braylon is taking on the pendant Tower of Hera. You have a couple of items and perhaps something to pan out for him.
Yeah, kind of a big gamble for him to go into the Tower of Hera this early, because without a sword or the hammer, he will not be able to finish the dungeon.
Gotta imagine a lot of these early plays. Oh, we have a unique item in Spike Cave. That's inside there. But you gotta imagine some of these early plays in the places that may not pay off. Maybe our runners hoping that something will put them above their competitors who may not want to take these gambles.
I really think it's going to be Front of Escape at this point. But with no weapon to make that easy, they'd have to do like the bomb escape. So it makes sense that they're all putting it off.
Ooh, we found the Titan's Myth in Spiral King.
Definitely a nice pickup there for Marty. And soon Draco. But without that Moon Pearl, they still have to go find something else.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Those Titan's Myths there would have been, with that Moon Pearl would have been a perfect way to route in Dark Death Mountain, but alas, not to be.
Raylan checks the big chest. That's the second item in the dungeon, so he doesn't have to worry about the boss having an item. But will not be able to finish it with no weapon to kill Moldar. And our stun prize is a single bomb.
Excellent. I mean, definitely could come in handy, but I don't know if that would be the stun prize that I'd be hoping for.
Yeah, I feel like once you have bombs, the only thing you want to see in your stun prize is like hearts.
Look, it said that the unique item requires the boot, so it could be King's Tomb, could be Bonk Rocks, could be a few things.
Yeah, Desert Palace Torch, Ganon Tower Torch.
It's like Marty is headed toward Eastern Palace as well, and Draco is in Tower of Hera at this point. Interesting, again, you're right, no one has really done the front of Escape and looked at those items might hold.
Yeah, it makes sense though, because like the bomb escape is kind of uncomfortable for most players. Try and put it off as long as you can. Maybe you'll get a sword somewhere. I think the key in Sanctuary was really telling because the key gives logical access to Zelda's cell. I don't know if I would have done the bomb escape earlier, but I would be thinking that was the answer.
We still, of course, do have Akina, as singleton as he may be. It's always nice to still visit the old man.
Mr. Scrub not finding anything in the Eastern Palace is going to head up the mountain as well, where he will find the mitts, but still no move pearl.
I don't know, I'm getting a sneaking suspicion that Agina might have that moon pearl. I don't know why, just get the commentator's intuition.
It's definitely front of Escape. I guess it might be Agita, it's way more likely front of Escape, right?
I mean, listen, this game makes liars of us all, so I bet we're both wrong, and it's just somewhere completely different. I don't even know where that would be, but this is somewhere different.
The really dangerous thing is if Agina or the front of Escape has, say, a sword, giving access to Moldorm and that green pendant. Be a very
Moldorm and a fighter sword. And no real new checks here from our runners. They're all sort of just crisscrossing each other's paths. Draco is going to go into those three chests in the back of Escape. Raylan picking up the Titan's mitts. And of course, Scruff Ninja and Marty just clearing out other locations.
Alright, where does Draco go now? To Eastern. Darn it!
Yeah, so it looks like we're not going to have any new checks in just a little bit. But yeah, these still no sword and still no pearl and still no a lot of other things. But it'll be interesting to see what their next item will be.
Yeah, killing those guards in the Escape with bombs is really, like, uncomfortable. Like, they do not want to have to do that, but it does look like that's what the game's going to make them do.
I mean, the upshot is you do have the hook shot to freeze them. It's ways they will just stop wiggling around. but still, it is a draw on resources. What's the Marty's gonna do? If they're gonna.
All right, here we go. Bomb escape.
Everybody's favorite, but not really.
It's my favorite. That's my favorite start for the standard state of the game.
Oh god! Every time I get a bomb from escape, there are certain 4-letter choice words that come out of my mouth.
There's some nifty little setups you can learn for the bomb escape to make it a bit easier. But the real bonus to bomb escape is that you don't have to farm for bombs. It always feels bad when like you find out that one of your competitors got a bomb on like the first drop and you killed like 50 things and got nothing.
Bomb escape, here's some bombs for you.
So both of these chests that Marty's headed to now are logically locked behind that small key that we got in Sanctuary.
I think we still have a map outstanding, if I'm not mistaken. So that'll be one of the chests.
Yeah, one of them will definitely be the map.
There's bro.
And Marty is free to leave, and he does. And lo and behold, we have Dark World access, as horrible as that is, with no weapon in the midst.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a terrifying concept right here, that we have pretty wide open Dark World access and 0 things to hurt things with. And also my commentator's intuition was completely wrong, although Agina might have something good.
Yeah, there could still be something in Agina.
Alright, looks like Marty's going to go ahead and do Dark Death Mountain. Of course, you can also get the peek at Medallion for Total Rock, which is a bonus. And Spike Cave does have a unique item, although not a good idea to go now with nothing to protect you.
Well, they would need the hammer anyway.
Also that.
Oh, you're right. Mr. Script Ninja has 4 pendants marked. There we go. We fixed it. we only have 1 tracker today, so he's got a tough job ahead of him.
Yeah, big ups to Oro there for covering 4 windows at once. And as Marty's about to cover the hookshot cave, got some items in here, and then likely we'll do that medallion check and head out.
Dark Death Mountain having absolutely nothing today.
Unless you enjoy small rupee drops and bombs.
It's kind of very frustrating for Marty because, like as we said before, like having no weapon and only mitts access to the Dark World, it really limits your routing options here.
And we did the Bombos medallion on T-Rock, and it looks like Marty is going to head to the Village of Outcasts. A rather slow start to the seed. Hopefully things will kind of pick up some steam here.
No, we needed to keep going slow. It makes it easier to track.
Also that. Marty's giving us another map check, which is good for all. And then I would imagine is going to head south to Village of Outcasts, and I'm a liar.
So the idea here is that you really, really, really want the hammer, right? Like, nothing is more important than finding that hammer right now. And since the hammer can just be anywhere that he can go, he wants to check everything and not leave anything behind.
Good news is the Skullwoods check without the fire run is going to be relatively quick. You can't get into the back yet, and we have a map, so that's exciting. Like Raylan is also taking that entrance into the Dark World, and will also be heading up to Skullwoods to do some checks.
Marty taking the long way to get to the big chest here. He can bomb jump across, but without a weapon, without a sword, it's a little not comfortable to do that bomb jump.
Skullwood's not being much of anything right now. We got some keys, we got a compass and a map. It looks like Raylan's going to go ahead and see what the item is past these Gibdos, who are just so obnoxious.
Just a small key.
And there was a little bit of a frustration pull from Raylan's part, and I imagine you just checking Skullwoods to be absolutely Zippo has got to be frustrating.
Marty waiting for that Wallmaster. I think he forgot he has the mirror.
Yeah, it's more fun that way. They can pick you up.
Let's go for a ride.
Let's give him a hand, everyone.
So from here, I really expect Marty to go east and check the Bumper Cave and then Graveyard Ledge. He does have the option of sequence breaking over to East Dark World. That would be my personal play in this situation, but not everybody's really comfortable with the current jump, it being a fairly new tech.
Bumper Cave Ledge is only some bombs heading eastbound. I think could be. Oh, it does have that mirror, so it has an option to check the Graveyard Ledge as well, and then we'll see where Marty goes from there.
Eastbound and down. Sorry, you said eastbound, and it got stuck in my head.
The scary part is that song was literally in my head when I said that. But like the version that Archer and the show Archer sings is not the original. Alright, Graveyard Ledge, what we got? We got the bow!
Oh, it's magic, you know. That is an amazing find there for Marty. I think finding the bow there, it says, you know what? Let's not go to Village of Outcasts. but he's going to do it anyway. Like I said before, he may just not be privy to the kern jump that would allow him to sequence break over to East Dark World.
Got Raylan giving our first look into Thieves Town, so we'll see what's in here. 4 items possible.
Oh, Mr. Scruff running into a little bit of a deadrock trouble here on 2 hearts on Death Mountain.
A lot of rupees in Village of Outcast. Chess gave him a 20, and the C-shaped house had 300. Yeah, nothing really of exciting progression.
I kind of really expect somebody to find the flippers soon to give logical access to East Dark World and for a vanilla hammer and pod. But it could be anywhere. The hammer itself would give East Dark World access as well.
Looks like Raylan is opting to go ahead and leave Thieves Town after death. Without the hammer, you are orphaning an item there, and in 2 races in the past, I would say week, there has been an item of value in that chest.
Yeah, and not only just the big chest, but they also have no way to kill blind.
Yeah, and I mean, you would think that arrows would logically in the real world help do that, but no, this is not logic.
With Marty going out of the way to get that bow, Raylan has taken the lead for checking new locations for us.
But we're going to digging. Oh, we're going to do that.
Let's go get that bow eventually, though.
Well, absolutely, and we'll see how long it takes. We are going to get a digging back, and then I would imagine that Raylan's going to go ahead and at least take the Smithy home because I don't know if he saw the hint about the purple chest, but at least he can get something at the Smithy. Although you do have hammer peg, which is your thing. Marty is going deeper into Thieves Town to see what might be there.
Well, this is a pretty significant gamble. Like we were saying before, without a weapon or the hammer, he has to leave at least 2 of these item locations completely behind.
Big chest, Swamp Palace, just a heart container from the hint in... Oh, we have a medallion, though, on K45. We have the Ether medallion.
Wow, that might actually be useful. Or not. Thanks, game! One of the 2. We don't know yet.
I'm thinking Hype Cave might be hyped today. We've had a very slow-going seed, and we have the red mail from Stumpy, so also good.
It does seem likely to get a hype cave here.
Yeah, we're running out of locations, so something's gonna happen soon. Said the very astute commentator.
My official prediction is that Raylan is going to open Hype Cave and then check 5 item locations.
I don't know, that's a pretty big gamble, Coy. Pretty big gamble.
Oh my god, he opened Hype Cave. I think he's gonna do it. Yep, he's checking 5 item locations. Maybe he'll skip the last one just to prove me wrong. Oh, it's the hammer and a fire rod.
Hey, Koi. Stop. Hammer time.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we got Pod pretty much completable at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately, Marty's the only one with the bow, so we might see some double dips of Pod that will be completely unnecessary. Marty takes Blind to his cell just to have him active for later, so he won't have to double dip that. But he will have to double dip it if he wants to get the big chest.
Do you believe the Hint Tile and Swamp Palace was something about the bow?
Good. Oh, I missed it.
Here we go with my Akina check. Yeah, chat pointing out that bow hint, if people go check it, or when people go check it, it's going to be very convenient, especially since the bow is in a very interesting location.
Graveyard Ledge definitely a place a lot of people would not mind while getting to skip.
Yeah, High Cave was full of all red things, and depending on how you look at the hammer tip's color, I would say it's the red High Cave.
Looks like Draco is going to head from Hype Cave over to East Dark World with his new hammer. I don't believe he checked that hint about the bow, though. Hopefully he doesn't go into Pod. Okay, it looks like he's going to go up to the pyramid.
Raylan's going to go ahead and clear out Thieves Town now that he's got the hammer and can do so and take care of Blind.
Marty trucking with that purple chest. I think he might have not checked that hint for it or just forgot about it.
He could just be an aficionado of purple locked things.
Maybe he just wants the heart container. I don't know. Seems unlikely. He has a pretty healthy amount of hearts.
Marty picking up his Ether Medallion, and Draco's heading eastbound and down, so you can go ahead and sing that again.
Eastbound and down. Raylan's going into Thieves Sound with his hammer. He can full clear it now with the hammer, but Hammer Blind not anybody's favorite fight.
Draco picking up some potions during the stop here to the Witch's Hut potion shop. Does he go to Catfish?
He should, yeah. I think Marty abandoned the purple chest somewhere. He like as if he just remembered.
Excuse me, is anyone the owner of this here purple chest?
Just setting it free. Returning it to the wild.
Legend of Zelda Purple Chest of the Wild.
Marty is ecstatic to find that hammer because now he can just continue straight into Palace of Darkness.
Alright, let's see what the big fish has for Draco.
God, I wish we had like cameras on the runners. I'd love to see their expressions when stuff like that happens. Oh, Marty's gonna go up and check pyramid first.
Like Draco is going over to Zora to check what's there. Just some bombs on that ledge. And Raylan looks like it's going to be rounding out Steve's Town quite soon.
I missed what was on Pyramid, but Marty is opting not to grab it, so probably not something important.
So clearly it's the butter part, right?
It might be, maybe it's flippers, and he's like, I don't need those.
Put the water wings on and try it out.
The only thing we can be absolutely sure of is that it is not the boots. He'd grab the boots if they were there. And our big chested Thieves' Town is the flippers. Oh, which runner went to blind? It was Draco? I can't remember. Whoever went to blind,
was Marty.
Was it Marty? Whoever went to blind, they're in trouble. Because that's not a check you want to go have to do, is that big chest.
Or did I curse the game by saying the last two things that I saw were important items in that chest?
Alright, Raylan's showing us how it's done. Killing blind with the hammer. It's not terribly difficult to like hit blind with the hammer. The dangerous part is all of the damage you take while doing so.
With 4 bottles, at least we have some safeties to back us up, and that's, I think Raylan, was it Raylan or Drake? I think Draco got the potions, but we got some, it doesn't matter, it's going to be good.
Down goes blind with 2 hearts to spare.
And our first crystal of the game. Pod's hint was that Ether is in cave 45, so Marty's like, yeah, I already knew that.
Gosh, game. Draco picking up his bow there in Graveyard Ledge. He'll be able to have his pick of crystal dungeons today. All 2 of them.
Oh, we missed the flute here. I believe it was in Pod.
I saw it, but I didn't want to say anything.
Just keeping everyone in suspense, that's all.
I didn't think it was that exciting. That's all.
How dare you? Next to the bug net, that is the 3rd most exciting item in the game.
No, Flute's definitely a very nice pickup there from Marty, and it will absolutely be required to get to Meyer.
By the way, the 2nd most exciting item in the game is a bee in the bottle.
Naturally.
Chat's starting to get sad that the pet check hopes are dimming.
Yeah, pet is it's by default pretty unlikely, and then with Turtle Rock being one of the pendants, it's even more unlikely. Very few items could be on there. But there's still some, so your hopes are still alive.
Looks like Draco is setting up for Pod and Eastern clear, although again, Eastern is a pendant, but I think we may have 1 item outstanding there.
Raylan heading towards his bow. I'd imagine he'll go to pod next.
And Mr. Scrub Ninja Tuna picking up Ether as Marty is continuing to clear out pod, gets the piece the part for his truck. Still no sword for any of our runners.
I mean, what do you really need a sword for, anyway? Except, you know, Modula and getting into Myron Turtle Rock and killing Ganon. But other than that, right?
I mean, how about a cape? Because that we just found there in the Dark Maze.
Woo woo. And a unique item in the Big Chest Palace Darkness. That's basically go mode, right?
I mean, that's the arrow of Evil's Bane. That's the one arrow that you get to kill again. So yeah, that's the most important. I refined my list. That is the most important item in the game. And the bug net tends to be in the bottom of them.
So, as absolutely horrible as this is, Swordless Ice Palace really looks like it might be the best play here coming up soon.
Oh god, that sounds miserable. As Raylan is checking the Waterfall of Wishing to no fruition.
I mean, we do have like half magic and 4 bottles and tons of money, so it's not going to be like the worst Cold Stare fight. But I think just getting through the dungeon without a sword is pretty challenging for a lot of people.
Definitely unpleasant. Well, we have 75% of our runners in this winner approaching pod.
At least everybody found the bow. The Graveyard Ledge is a kind of a trolley spot to have progression. So it feels really good to see all of our runners made their way over there eventually.
At this point, no one's terribly behind. Everyone's progressing nicely. You don't have anyone who's kind of poking and prodding around the overworld or dungeon. But without the sword, and quite you know way more things about this game than I do technically. The hitbox can't be extended from that hammer.
What?
Is the sword's usefulness in the Helmet Sword King is to extend the hammer's hitbox? Am I correct in that?
Are you talking about strategy where you like hold the sword out when you hammer him? So yeah, that serves 2 functions. It makes your sword hit farther up just a little bit, but also protects you from Helmet Sword, because if you get too close to him, you'll just tink off of him instead of taking damage. But I believe he can extend the range of the sword by just holding down B even when he doesn't have a sword. Or extend the range of the hammer. Or something like that.
I figured I wasn't quite sure.
I usually
extend the range of club.
It's not too hard to hit Helmsworth's mask with the hammer even when you don't have a sword. It's just dangerous, that's all. So Marty definitely looks like he's had the best route through the game so far. Like he hasn't gone to finish Thieves Town yet, but he gets to activate his flute on the way there, which is always nice.
Yeah, that'll be a nice tie-in for him as he goes towards Thieves Town. And hopefully he's going to go ahead and check that chest, I would assume, probably in the back of his head. Well, and with the duck activated, now we have Misery Mire shed, and we can at least peek into Desert Palace and see what's required in there.
Yeah, Marty checks his potions here. It makes me think he's gonna do something dangerous soon.
Like Simba, Marty laughs in the face of danger.
Only when he has 4 blue potions, though. He's got the money for it. No reason not to buy those potions.
Yeah, and off he flutes, and looks like he's heading toward the Misery Mire area.
Why'd you buy potions if you're gonna go to Mire? Oh my gosh. I was hoping he'd go to Ice Palace.
I mean, maybe he's thinking really ahead for like a danger later.
The flippers, I guess. Like, why would he go to Ice Palace? But you can take Flipper, Marty. I believe in you.
Ether is the medallion for Misery Mire, so we just need some cane. And a bug net.
Of course, without the sword, Marty will not be able to open Mire quite yet.
But we found the best item in the game, Coin, so you can now take a deep breath.
Woo!
I was not excited enough.
I don't like the Buckman.
How even dare you?
He doesn't do anything!
It's the Bucknet of Evil's Bane. You can put it over Aghanim's head and he can't move. That's just logic right there.
People are always asking me to do like Bugnet Agatu, and I'm like, I don't wanna.
Makes a cool switching noise.
Ooh, Marty's gonna go into Desert Palace. It is possible he can full clear it, but it's just as possible that he needs the boots to do anything at all.
Well, Marty's gonna see very shortly whether or not those boots are required here.
Yeah, you're kind of gonna need those boots, apparently.
Looked like Braylon was trying for a hammer up and is now trying for a hammer up, so good on him. And what a payoff.
Marty, you don't have a sword, buddy. You don't have a sword. Oh my gosh.
Maybe if he believes hard enough, he can morph into a sword like a Giraham, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things in the game that you have to keep track of and remember. You know, that you need a sword to cast Medallion, maybe not on the top of his mind. Oh my god, is he gonna fake flipper? Yep. We're going Ice Palace, boys. Never mind.
So here's the thing. The thing is this. Spike Cave has a unique item. They now have the hammer, they now have the cape, and they have Path Magic.
Oh yeah, Spike Cave totally
I'm thinking boots are there. I don't know why, I was just thinking.
Well, I think boots are there because it's a unique item, and unique item is the game's special code word for the boots. Pretty sure.
I believe that if you look at the thesaurus, unique item, it just says, see also boots.
Okay, well, he thought about Ice Palace at least, but I think we've decided Thieves Town. Thieves Town is the play. Where he'll find the flippers and then do Ice Palace.
They also got 2 items in Skull Woods. I don't think any items were pulled out the first time, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. But without a sword, you want to put off going there so that you can at least fight Mothula.
Mr. Scruffin just taking down the Helmstar King as Marty's going to go into Thieves Town again. Hopefully not just stop at Blind, but go down to that basement chest.
Yeah, you said he was the one who went and got blind, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate for Marty, but really good news for everybody else who is trying to beat him. I feel torn.
Well, you're not getting your sadistic wish. It looks like he's going to be heading to that basement.
So it's definitely a good play for Marty that he's going down to the big chest first. But he knows that there's 2 items. So I think he just resigned that he's gonna check both of them, so might as well do this one first.
Yeah, and he will not be disappointed by what he finds.
Or I mean, he might be. He doesn't want to do. He doesn't want to do Ice Palace. I guess Swamp's also possible.
Yeah, it is. And it is our other 5-6 crystal, so I mean it opens up the 2 Pyramid Fairy items as well.
Yeah, they just need to find a sword for Maya. Where are these swords, by the way? We haven't seen anything.
Yeah, the swords are like gonna all be stacked up in a place.
Marty running into a little trouble on Hammer Blind, but that's why he got the potions.
He also has like a jillion hearts. I think that's a pretty accurate number of the amount of hearts.
I'm not sure about a jillion. Maybe a gajillion?
Ah, yes, I think that is a more accurate number.
Yeah, I don't think jillion's even a number. Did you just make that up?
I make so many things up. Raylan, however, is not making up the fact that... Oh, I'm sorry, I just cut you right off.
Oh no, what were you saying about Raylan?
Looks like Raylan's heading for Spike Cave and the unique item.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we think it's the boots. It doesn't necessarily have to be the boots, but we think it's the boots.
No, it has to be the boots. Since I've said it, and since this game has already proved me a liar with Agina, this has to be something that I said it was because I said so.
I think it's definitely very, very likely to be the boots.
See, I told you.
What are those? What are those?
Things.
Seriously, what are they?
These be boots. Man, I haven't heard that meme in so long.
Looks like Marty's going no. Ice. No. Where are you going? Marty. Oh, he's gonna do hobo.
There's a sword.
Hey, a sword! That's nice. That opens up a ton of stuff for us now. With the sword, we can now kill Mothula. We can now kill Vitreous. We can now get Pyramid Fairy. With the boots, we can now do Land Mow. Wait a minute, are we in Go mode?
We need at least Master Sword.
Cane. I forgot.
And Cane.
They do need the cane for Vitreous and Pyramid Fairy, my bad.
Get a book, though.
Not really what you want to find. Like, he already had access to Desert through Mitts and Mirror and Flute. So finding the book there just adds more checks to his repertoire.
But reading is fundamental. We need a book.
I don't know. I don't think reading's all that important. I never learned. I do just fine.
And book learning.
I don't need no edumacation.
Oh my god, this is going right off the tracks.
School is important, you guys. Go to school. Don't do drugs. Also, watch Speak at Me. The 3 keys to success.
The 3 are reading, writing, and speed gaming.
Where was the cape? Do you remember?
It was in class.
I'm surprised Marty hasn't gone to Spike Cave yet then. Because he seems to be, like, just from the way he's routing, he seems to be very adverse to going into these dungeons swordless. So I would have thought to see him check that unique item. Looks like he's going to go into Swamp now, though.
Yeah, Swamp's one of those that, I don't know, I always feel very mixed over because it's so easy to just, like, clear it, not full clear, just go straight to Argus, and then you're like, but there's a lot of items there, so... You can see that my thought process absolutely has me as a world-class speedrunner in this game.
Well, it's just like left side feels so bad compared to the rest of the dungeon, and it's really rare that there's not at least one item locked over there. So, like, if you go too early, you feel like you have to do it. If you go too late, you feel like you have to skip it. If you go in, like, the middle, it's like, oh my god, please don't make me. Like, it never feels good to go to Swamp. Raylan getting bodied by these spikes, but takes down the big bug.
Yeah, that was an explosive ending there.
Some men just want to watch the bugs burn.
Listen, if a moth got into my house, I would throw fire at it too.
It's kind of overkill.
Burn it down.
Burn it eastbound.
We need like an eastbound and down counter.
You got it stuck in my head. Burn it eastbound and down. Alright, Mothula's son, Raylan, headed over to Desert, it looks like. Gonna check the ledge real quick.
Repping the tuna, going to dishwasher about to get his boots. So Marty, only one without fancy footwear, which puts him a bit behind.
Swamp Palace not paying off just yet, but we have quite a few more checks in this dungeon. Looks like he's going to go straight to left side.
I have faith in Swamp Palace.
I don't. I think it's ice. Mr. Scruff gets his sword. Fancy.
I mean, it's not so much a sword as just like a pointy stick.
It gets the job done. Eventually.
And Draco got the job done there, and then let's get a fancy, new-aged compass. I couldn't think of any more adjectives.
Now he knows where Lambo is.
That's important. And Raylan is not to know where Lambo is.
Nice fire rod fight there from Raylan. Takes down Lambo in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
Alright, Swamp, don't let me down. So you have the big key. Very exciting.
Compass and a big key. Thank you so much, Left Side Swamp. So there was an item locked behind Left Side Swamp. Unfortunately, it's just a heart container in the big chest.
But now Marty knows where Arcus is.
We get a pet check here from Mr. Scruff, which is the Quake Medallion. Not necessary.
Sorry, y'all. Your pet is dead. Unless you want some Quake.
I remember the first time I saw that hint for Quake Medallion on pedestal. It says like maxing out the Richter scale. I had to ask what the Richter scale was because I don't have all that, you know, smart learning book stuff in my head.
You learned it through Zelda.
Teaching me things every day. We don't have earthquakes where I live. It's not a thing here.
The likely excuse. The swamp is turning up to be a whole heaping mess of nothing.
Because it's Ice Palace.
How dare you lose faith in Swamp?
I don't know. I really want it to be Ice Palace because I know that if I had been playing the seed, I would have gone to Ice Palace already. And it would have been like this crazy swordless gamble, but I would have done it.
I mean, the counterbalance to having literally one sword here in the game so far is that at least we have red mail.
Alright, Marty gonna have to do some menu strats here on Argus. This is incredibly slow, but it's the only way he has to fight this boss right now.
First sword, by the way, was in King's Tomb.
No, Bonkrocks, right?
The Bonkrocks had something, had the book.
Oh. Okay, I don't know. But it's all the same to me.
Listen, you have such prejudice against books. I had enough of your booking.
Looks like Raylan is also going to go into Swamp Palace, where he will find nothing. Unfortunately.
I mean, we have Argus. Argus
yeah, I guess Argus
Argus
could drop something, that's true.
it'll be bombs or like arrows. Or maybe a cannon. Yeah,
Could be cane. It's possible. Could be a sword.
or it could be a single rupee.
It could, yeah, definitely could be. Yeah.
Oh, look, it's a single rupee. I totally called that.
Swamp had nothing. Nothing.
Yikes. That's bad.
Alright, Marty, you have so little choice now. You have to go to ice, right? Marty says no. I gotta get some potions. Alright, buying potions, I really think it's gonna go to ice now. Because, why else are you grabbing potions?
Got twin line fights going on the bottom. Well, they were twins until Draco killed the line.
Alright, here we go. Marty with the play.
I mean, this has gotta be it. What else do we have?
Well, Marty still has spike game, but at this point, I think maybe he's just hoping it's nothing, or has possibly forgotten about it. Just a piece of heart on the Firelocks side of Meyer.
If we still have one item left in Eastern Palace, and it would be horrendous.
Yeah, that's true. Also, there's the green pendant from killing Moblin that nobody was able to do their first trip.
The seed that keeps on giving all year long. We do still have access to Meyer, just not able to complete it yet. That is correct, chat. That is technically correct. The best kind of correct.
Vanilla Samaria, though, is so gross. You just you gotta hope that that's not the case.
Well, and let's say it were, and you had a fighter sword to fight Vitreous and silver arrows.
Yeah, that's right. Even if you get the cane there, you don't even want to fight Vitreous.
Cane of Burner requires the book, so their book is already coming in handy.
Mr. Scruff finds his flippers. And he will likely do Smith Sequence into Swamp Palace.
I'm already pulling up 2 successful bomb jumps, accidentally fell into the void during the first one.
It's not where you're going, it's how you got there.
It's all about the journey. The climb, Miley Cyrus. It's all about the game and how you play it. That's it, that's what all about. Ice is still quiet, but we still have a few chests left back here before we give all hope. About to head to the iced tea room here.
Yeah, Marty unfortunately going the long way to Ice Tea. Having done the bomb jump, he had to like drop down to the room before Cold Stare. Oh look, Favos. That's fun.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it'll make Cold Stare just a little bit easier, right?
Is this
Have a
like?
few more fire red shots.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean yet that we have to go swap our way to T-Rock.
Yeah, still no Kane, so it's not really a possibility quite yet. But I mean, it's definitely possible that all the swords are just in Turtle Rock, right?
Oh god, that would be ugly.
Oh yeah, Marty doesn't even have a sword. He can't cast bombos for Cold Stare.
Oh god, that feels bad. Well, Marty is the one runner giving us some unique checks here. They're the ones that are sort of crisscrossing the paths of the others. We have Swamp Palace with Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna and Draco in Skullwoods, Raylan doing some water checks.
Still nothing for Marty.
Yeah, how's your Ice Palace looking now, Koi?
I'd say it still looks pretty good. He just hasn't gotten to the chests that have the items yet.
That's what they all say. Or just, it was said here.
Looks like our last two items will be the big chest and Cold Stare.
Alright, big money, big money.
A sword!
So for we here in the streaming world watching this, we have one more item to go mode.
And it does look like Cold Stare is not locked by Samaria, so he could definitely drop it.
And now with the sword, he can use bombos.
Yay!
And gosh darn it, he will.
Burn it down! Burn it all down! Oh, don't run out of magic, though. Or we're good. We got potions.
Good sport thinking with those potions.
Oh, look, the Cane of Samaria.
See, I told you that Ice Palace was the play. I said it, and no one can prove me any differently.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't have like any super awesome reasons for doing Ice Palace earlier. It's just, it really felt like Ice Palace, you know?
So, I believe we, here in the streaming world, as I've said now twice in 2 minutes, are in go mode.
We're in no mode. So all that needs to have happen is for Marty to go get his boots. And instead he's going to do Misery Mire. Shoot.
Because Spider Sword. Beatrice.
Yeah, this is unfortunate.
I mean, could it be that maybe Silvers could be the second enemy here? Maybe?
It's possible.
Raylan is going to be in really good shape once he finishes up Ice Palace here.
Yeah, that'll be his go mode.
So it's fortunate that he went into Swamp first, because That would have been a nice quick clear, but hurrah.
Oh, I don't speak German. What language is that? That's Italian, right?
Spanish.
Or Latin or something.
It's like Mr. Scruffman just throwing some bottles into the waterfall of wishing.
It's Godmire too. Oh.
I mean, do you play it like Godmire at this point? Probably not. Still looking for things.
No, I think in Marty's position, I think he'll clear.
Yeah, I forgot he still doesn't have those boots.
Yeah, even if he doesn't find progression here, he'd really like to find like silvers or another sword or something just to make the fight a little easier.
Raylan about to get his second sword upgrade. Put him in go mode. Although silverless cannon with master sword is close.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, right? Like they've checked so many locations of the game, it's pretty likely that one of the last two swords is going to be in GT.
We say that, but we also have Bridge.
Well, it's just there's like 5 items in Turtle Rock, but there's 20 in Ganon's Tower.
I mean, yes, map does support you, so I will yield to you on this.
I mean, worst comes to worst, they do have 4 bottles and the cape. And there's Raylan's Canis Maria, and thus our first runner to enter what we like to refer to as time to go kill Ganon mode. Or go mode for short.
Time to go kill Ganon mode. Just rolls right off the tongue. And Raylan is only one dungeon away from the ascent to Ganon's Tower, and that, as we know, is God mode.
Yeah, we only have one tracker today, guys. So Aura's kind of he's taxed with a lot here. I'm sure he'll mark Raylan's sword and Samaria as soon as he has the opportunity.
Yeah, and usually if they are marked up, they thank you to our trackers, but thank you to our tracker Oro, who's pulling quadruple duties. So thank you, Oro. You are a legend. Alright, Marty's doing Fighter Sword, Peep Stamp, Vitria.
Or unmarked Raylan's sword. Oh, there we go. Were you just messing with chat there, Aura?
God, this type of Vitria's fight is just so taxing.
Yeah, this is a very slow way to fight the boss. But you gotta do what you gotta do.
Raylan gets his big key, and so likely we'll just go ahead and head straight for Vitrius at this point.
Always nice to see that Godmire key layout when you're actually in go mode. The eyes do take
Absolutely.
damage from Fighting Sword spins. It's just not much damage.
All right, down to the last phase here at Vitreous. And with that bow, it's just a matter of swinging those arrows into the eyeball.
Oh, get a little bit of spooky action from a distance here from Raylan. But he accidentally did it because he wasn't supposed to. Oh, he broke the spooky.
The chat for spooky. Or not.
No spooky today.
Yeah, Marty's got to head up this fight cave. Gotta make that happen.
And unfortunately, he's got one more crystal dungeon he can do before he starts getting bottlenecked.
Reiko taking on Argus, the menu boss, with the hammer and the hookshot as Mr. Scruff. Ninja Tuna is going to be getting this very, very soon. Raylan is laying waste to those little eyeballs with his massive equipment.
Yeah, this isn't like the fastest way to kill the boss or anything with his equipment, but it is definitely the safest and the easiest.
Alright, a few arrow shots, and Raylan has conquered his 7th crystal.
Wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, 7! You're right!
Eyes can count. So, Coy, that means something very special, not as special as it would in a tournament, but what does that mean?
That's right. Raylan can now go to Laser Bridge and find the Butter Sword.
Absolutely. So all those numbers in chat is just how many minutes it will take to get those swords out of Laser Bridge.
No, Raylan is headed to Ganon's Tower, where there are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower that can contain the big key that he needs to complete the game. If you would like to place a guess in the chat as to which number chest he will find that big key in, we will follow him through the dungeon and let you know if you win.
And Coy, what do they win if they win the big key guessing game?
Lifetime subscription to A Link to the Past Randomizer. See, you get it? It's funny because it's free.
Hey, there are no free lunches in life. And no free randomizer. Or there.
No, of course, on the daily races, we do not run the big key guessing game, the official big key guessing game, just to deter cheaters. Cheater, pumpkin eaters. But it's still fun to play.
What is your guess, Coy?
1.
You are a nice man.
I'd like 1. It's nice. So you can see Raylan doing some extra overworld checks on the way. He really wants to find a sword or the silvers. Opting not to do hookshot cave, though. That's kind of good.
Hookshot cave already?
Yeah, we've seen hookshot cave, but it had nothing.
Alright, so I'm gonna guess 6. Because why not? I think Marty might finally be making that run for Spike Cave.
And Raylan immediately headed eastbound and down
4.
to the right side of Ganon's Tower.
4 times. The first chest, nothing. I'm going full right side on this one.
Well, I think we'll probably see some hybrid routing here. I'd expect him to mirror after Compass Room. He does have the option to go full right, but you never see anybody do that. That's crazy.
Do you say that? Oh boy, Marty's going into Tower of Hera. Not going to find much of anything there. Chest 3, we got some arrows. Chest 4, we got some arrows. Chest 5, we got the almighty shovel. And chest 6, piece of heart. So now we can just bash Ganon in the head with the shovel, right?
Yeah, so he goes to this portal here to pick up the one small key to replace the one he spent, but is going to mirror it and go full left from there. We call this the hybrid route.
That big key's on the torch. Oh, it sure is.
Oh my gosh.
That makes it a location number 7, and I'm going to go ahead and scroll up and see who got that first. So close. Talwyn 7, just keeping true to the name there, is the winner of the lifetime subscription to the free.
G.
Raylan just going straight up the tower at this point. Not going to go ahead and do any more checks for another sword or the silver. Just saying, let's do this.
So Marty finds both items there in Tower of Hera and mirrors out. He is not interested in that green pendant. And I think we learned a little bit ago that he never did check that Spike Cave hint until very, very recently, and that's why he hasn't been there. I'm sure if he had checked it, he would have come up here way sooner.
Got Draco doing Ice Palace, gonna find his second sword, and Mr. Scruffage finding out that Scott Meyer getting that big key, getting right up just after, and Marty's speeding his way down to Misery Meyer. However, does not have a second sword, and finish Misery Meyer. I guess doing some checks here for the second sword.
Yeah, he'll do desert here. He'll full clear desert and then probably do the boots checks after. As long as he doesn't go into Turtle Rock, I think he'll still finish with a nice time.
Yeah.
He might actually just go to Ganon's Tower with one sword. Oh, that might be bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the very worst, if you go to Ganon's Tower, take care of Ganon's Tower, you have a couple of overworld locations. You have King's Tomb and Bone Rock that you can check that are pretty quick to get that second sword. Really, still doing a few checks. Definitely wants that sword upgrade and maybe silver as well.
Raylan ditching all his magic there so that he can do this fake powder. Never mind. Oops. There we go. There we go.
Ooh, it's the third sword!
Yeah, definitely a nice sword. Unfortunately, it's very likely that if Marty does go to Gaines Tower, he's going to full clear the basement before heading up.
This
He's
definitely
flew away.
improves. This improves Raylan's Ganon fight exponentially.
Oh yeah, Ganon is going to be significantly easier now.
Alright, Raylan in due time will be heading up to Trigonogonum Tree, our favorite hypotenuse-based boss. If you can solve for A squared and B squared, C squared is not so bad. Alright,
Yeah.
it is time for the big pig.
The Big Pig. Making bacon, as they say. I don't know who says it, but somebody somewhere says making bacon.
They say it. They say it quite, and now you say it too.
Sweet.
Alright, Marty's heading for Ganon's Tower, as Raylan is heading for the man himself, or the pig, or...
That one guy at the end of the game that you have to kill. Oh, walking directly into the cannon. That's not how you really want to start your fight.
He just wanted to give him a handshake and a hug and say good luck.
Marty's got the hearts to handle it, though. Or not Marty, but Raylan. I guess Marty has the hearts, too. He's just not there.
Uh-oh, Mr. Scruff Ninja is going up to T-Rock, and... okay, maybe he's going in.
No, he's going to GT. He's in go mode.
He did finish Rock Up. Okay, wasn't sure. Ooh, arrows in Death Mountain. Huh.
Alright, Raylan nabs that torch glitch, and he has 12 spins to win. There's 1 and 2. I'm not going to count them all. See, I already lost count.
7, 12, 15, 72.
3!
So, arrows being in Death Mountain, I guess they were on the Ether tablet.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's all that was left, right?
Coming up in Mimic Cave. Could be.
Oh, yeah, Mimic Cave. That would count as Death Mountain, wouldn't it?
Definitely not worth it if it is Mimic Cave. Low on hearts, potion up there.
That's what they're there for. I always feel like if I buy potions, I go out of my way to use them. Because otherwise, well, why did I buy them?
Ooh, and Raylan takes down the big pig as he's crossing the Bridge of Happiness, which I'm gonna trademark.
What?
The Bridge of Happiness. Trademark. And we'll end with an official time of 1:39:52. Raylan GG for our first runner to cross the Bridge of Happiness. If I say it enough, it'll stick.
I can't argue with that logic.
So Raylan is our first finisher on stream. We do have a few folks that have finished in the overall race. I'm just going to go ahead and read their names, not the times, but Hungyu, Ayoshi, Obscured Lifelorm, Lin, Monochi, Hitsuyan, Karide. My writing is horrific. Ray something, sorry to that person, Kumba 90, Shire, Wolfie Dragon, and AK Drizzt.
Did you say Ray something?
I didn't say Ray something, I just wrote so fast I can't see what it said.
It's Rayvis.
So Rayvis, change your name now to Ray something, please. Don't make me look back.
Yeah, look, with those finish times, like, you can really see how big of a difference, like, going to Ice Palace earlier would have made for our runners. Like, you get to go mode Swamp Palace, you get to go mode Pod, and Thieves Town only had the flippers. Just lots of time to be saved.
Alright, Ravis, I apologize. I'm being called out for my nomenclature of Ravis because he won that tournament, and that's definitely, I need to get his name correct. Sorry. Sorry, Ravis. You are my hero. We'll see if Raylan wants to hop in and have a post-match interview here.
So we can see Marty's in Gaines Tower right now, and he is really hoping to find a sword here. And he's gonna find one. Like, there is a sword in here. It's just up the gauntlet. Ooh, careful with your error count there, Marty. He's got enough to finish it.
Ooh, there's another sword we found.
2 swords. Well, that's really nice, because Marty's going to pick up Tempered now. I guess he might skip the gauntlet chest, but I doubt it. And we welcome Raylan Tank here to the voice chat. How you doing? GG?
GG.
So that was a fun scene, right? Yeah? A little bit?
Yeah. Kinda was. It's just execution not on point today. Some unfortunate risks that didn't pay out. And yeah. A bit of everything.
I mean, I guess it really came down to, like, when you do Ice Palace in this seed, right?
Yeah. I mean, having this low swords really does not make it very attractive early on.
Yeah, definitely not.
And it took me a bit to find that fire rod, and by then I had pretty much everything open. Also, there was the hint for the bow, so I was more inclined to do the part first to find the sword more. So, yeah. And for the same reason, do Swamp before Ice.
Yeah, no, I feel like your decision making it was fine, right? Like, it's not like you did anything wrong. It was just wrong for this seed in particular, right? Like, it's very possible the case Mario was just in Swamp and suddenly your route's way better than everybody else's.
Yeah, I mean, it could also have been the one item that we didn't know in Mire at that point, so it could have been a complete gamble at was the right point. So.
Right.
I mean, I was even inclined to do the one item in Mire before going up to Super Bunny and the Hookshot Cave, because not having a moon pearl when I first went up the mountain was, or just had me saying, okay, if there's anything, this race is, or I'm behind from the start anyway, so let's just pretend there's nothing at all there to get. Worked.
For sure.
Just a quick eye on the stream. Scruff Ninja Tuna is stepping into Ganon as Marty. And Draco are both in Ganon start the point as well. And GGT Raylan.
Yeah, on the restream, he ended up with like a pretty good lead over everybody else.
Yeah, it does not surprise me that much, seeing how or who is on restream. I was probably the one with the strongest execution, so it would be, or it's not surprising that I would build a lead at some point if the seed does not give it to God routed easily. Yeah. So it tells me that I at least did not play the worst I could have.
No, everybody on the restream pretty much did the same things. The big difference maker was Marty, who never went to, or he didn't go to the Tower of Hera early. So he ended up not finding that hint for Spike Cave.
Yeah, that was really a hint that made me think, how early do I want to get my boots? Because after getting an item for unique item behind boots, I was almost sure that was the So yeah, I thought about getting it even before doing cards, decided against it because, well, one more item and maybe it was just the botnet up there, but yeah. Let's pick it up so that dip into Hera bought it first and certainly could help, or did help you. And I was quite happy to go in for that swamp then, because then I knew, okay, I don't have to search for the boat.
Right. Yeah, I think Marty was the only player to actually check Graveyard Ledge before seeing that hint for it.
Yeah. Yes, it's always kind of hard to perfectly route and Graveyard Ledge if you don't have an Aga 1 Dark World access, because there's no real incentive to go that route.
Well, with the current jump now, you can continue the route from Graveyard Ledge like over to Catfish.
Yeah, and if I didn't, or if I wouldn't have found the flippers while I was in Village of Outcasts somewhere, I think, I probably would have still done the route I did without the flippers, so using turn jump.
Yeah, the flippers were big chests at these times.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of weird to see it. You were low on weapons early on, so if you're not good doing swordless strats, maybe you had a rough start.
Yeah, like especially that the front of Escape Moon Pearl. Everybody put that off for the end because you had to do it with bombs, and nobody wanted to do that.
Yeah, no surprise there. Although even if I had a weapon, I would have lost located it the way I play it. If you want to be fast and you're not the most one of the top execution runners, you have to take some risk to make time somewhere, and for me it's usually either skip Castle and Uncle or skip Eastern play, and this time I went with the skip Castle. Yeah, more strong one in that case.
I'm going to break in, I'm sorry to interrupt you, I'm going to break in to say that Mr. Scrap Ninja Tuna has finished second on our restream with 149.47, so GG to him, and Marty is just about to start his Ganon fight.
GG.
Short shoutouts to that really good spooky action which I performed there.
Oh yeah.
Going in thinking, Remember, God Maya, don't hit the first switch, don't hit the first switch, you hit the first switch. Right. Great one.
I was a little disappointed where after you did that, you broke Spooky to fix it instead of just like using the fire rod to hit it.
Yeah, at that point I was thinking, oh come on, and thought to myself, okay, just play it safe, try to avoid tilt, and get it done somehow, and instead of trying to use defensive threats and maybe even screw up more.
Yeah, Spooky doesn't save all that much time. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Just like 20 minutes or so. Or seconds.
We are joined in the chat here by Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna. GG.
GG. I really, really dislike Silverless Ganon.
You and me both.
And that hint, though, is such a kick in the nads, because I know all the items that were up on Death Mountain, so it's gotta have been on either.
We were thinking it might be Mimic Cave, too.
Oh,
Good
true,
point.
true. Because I did get that hint saying that the Cane of Brian was on one of the tablets, so if that was on Bombos, maybe.
Yeah, I would assume no one really checked those tablets. Because if
Nah.
you got that book, there was no real reason to go to either one of the tablets until you hit go mode.
Exactly. And the way the seed was laid out, I mean, as long as you went the opposite way of how you'd normally go, like, you know, getting Titan's Mitts and then immediately going to go check Hype Cave instead of starting at Skull Woods, everything was lined up. You would have gone Hammer to Thieves Town, Flippers to freaking Swamp, and then from Swamp over to Ice to wherever. The only thing that was a curveball, honestly, was that bow and the pole.
Looks like Marty is our next finisher, crossing the bridge of happiness trademark with an official time of 1:52:15. So GG to Marty, and looks like it is confirmed Silvers were on the Ether Town. Thanks to Karide in the chat there.
Haha, I was right.
Yeah, I thought about checking it because I have a history of checking it on Ganon's Tower and then finding a sword. So it would have helped me this time also, but at that point I thought, I found 4 bottles about 20 minutes in the seed. I have cape, half magic, so I can do this.
Then why didn't you go to Ice? You had all those things before Ice spells, too.
See, my problem was I didn't have a hammer, the cane, or a sword until frickin' gosh, I think I dove 3 dungeons. No, 4. I dove 4 dungeons before I had a weapon.
Yeah, it was definitely not it was not a new player friendly seed.
But holy cow, I am so glad I did not just orphan that big chest in Thieves Town. Hope.
If I would have had a weapon at that point, I would have actually, because that's usually my play. I just go in there, hoping the big chest does not have anything if I don't have the hammer.
Yeah, I think we had a couple different players who went to the back of Thieves Town without a weapon. Ended up leaving behind Blind and the big chest. But both of them did go back to the big chest when they came back for Blind.
I never would do that. Either I leave behind the entire bag or I do at least Blind, and yeah. This seed, I was low on hearts, so I had a pretty easy death warp already set up, so I thought at that time, just go in, do the front, do the death warp to refill. Yeah.
I think I ended up keeping that fairy that I got right off the start, all the way to Ganon.
Yeah, I lost it to the boulders on Death Mountain. They didn't want to play nice.
Those dang sky cabbages.
Yeah. And I was even trying to save it by going into the cave to get the refill from Uncle, but nope, was not allowed to.
Ooh, poor Draco didn't get the torch glitch. That's gotta suck.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing, it's not the worst with lamp at half magic. You can still. Oh,
Yeah, if he were to like lamp one and then fire on the other, he'd be able to get
Oh
2 spins in.
no! Draco takes the fall.
if you're a
Back
Titan,
up,
you...
Fairy.
Oh, that is sad. Yeah. Yeah, if you are good on your timing with the lamp, you can even light both with the lamp and still hit 2, so you save the magic even. But yeah. Now he at least can retry for the torch glitch.
Exactly. Well, GG's to everyone. I'm gonna dip out. I got stuff to do.
All right, we'll see it. GG.
GG. So now the question I have now is, with Draco having taken the falls again and knowing that those silvers are on Death Mountain, do you think he even tries for it or just kind of potions up and goes back?
I think he just goes back. Going to get the silvers is like admitting defeat. Can't have
And
that.
going up the mountain, it's at least a minute you additionally sink in, and
Yeah, for sure, not worth the time.
I most of the time don't even realize where the silvers are if I am at Ganon silverless, because I'm just focusing on my execution and I'm not really reading where the silvers are. So that might also be a problem.
Oh yeah, I'm the same way, really. I never read what Ganon has to say.
And Koi has shown an absolute fly in the face of literature and literacy this whole stream.
Reading is for nerds. And
Yeah,
people who want silvers.
I mean, I have some seeds in the last 2 days where I tried to follow an early book and it had absolutely nothing at all. So I'm not really fond of reading right now. And good choice on using that cape. If you have it, why not make use of it?
It's actually really surprising to me how often I see somebody get to Ganon with plenty of magic or like magic refills or something to use the cape to get through phase 1 and 2 faster, and they just don't. And I'm like, why? Some players, though, they're just so used to not having that item that they never get the habit of using it. And of course, if you can do the 1-in-1, then it's not necessary at all.
Yeah. Which I recently started to practice. I did my first few dips into an NMG run. So also, of course, I also practice Ganon a bit, doing silverless. Not quite there, nailing the 1-1s, but at least having pretty safe 2-1s right now.
Yeah, the 1-in-1 is it's pretty tight to get it, and you have to be comfortable with like many different positions that Ganon can be in.
Yeah, I mean, I am getting one cycles in the first phase already quite reliable if I really want to, but I have not gotten my head around the dash strats yet, so even if I manage that one, it usually means I have then 2 cycles in the second phase, so it's not really worth trying and races right now.
Yeah, the big downside to trying it but not getting it is that if you 1 cycle the first phase, that means you definitely will not be getting one of the nice corner spots for phase 2 for the easy 1 cycle. And the an extra cycle of the first phase is faster than an extra cycle of the second phase. So it ends up being like one of those strats where like you either do it or you don't try it, right?
Yeah.
Well, Draco's all potioned up and has plenty of time and resources and got the potion, got the torch books rather. So he's got plenty of time and resources to take care of Ganon here in the second round.
Yeah, he's upping on a bit of an easier time here with the torch glitch this time. And there he goes. Get out of here, Ganon. No one likes you. And that's a GG for Draco Falcone, our final restream runner to finish.
And his official time is 2:01:06, and that is a personal best for him. So GG's times 2 for Draco in the chat. Nice job.
And we welcome Draco to the voice chat. GG.
GG.
Saw that you personal best on that one. Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, doesn't take much to improve that.
So is this like your new favorite seed now?
Oh, that beginning was ugly.
Yeah, the
Like-
force bomb escape in an open seed is pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah, the beginning of the seed, we kept saying, was incredibly slow and just really made you poke and prod every which way in Overworld and beyond. So no one blames you for exhaling quite heartily at that.
Yeah, it took me way too long to find a sword. It took me way too long to find the Moon Pearl. Although I have this feeling I might have been the first runner to 4 bottles. Because no matter what, I just kept finding them.
Yeah, they
I'm
were
not so sure
really
about that.
early.
It was one of the two of you, because I remember looking on the right-hand side of my screen and seeing that we were up to 4 bottles.
I mean, for the most part, you took pretty much the same route as most of the other runners on the restream.
Yeah, I opted for a different start, going Link's house first, unfortunately. I mean, it kind of paid off, but not really. Getting a bomb early was rather difficult.
Yeah, the different like early game routing options, they end up not making like a big difference in the whole course of the run. Usually just like up to like a minute difference if you put off Kakariko or go there immediately.
Yeah, I saw I got the lamp and the glove early, so I'm like, okay, as soon as I'm done South Shore, I'm going to Death Mountain. I get the mitts up there, because I actually remember to do Spiral Cave. I'm like, oh, well, that's a nice find up here. Now, where's the darn moon?
And of course, once you're in the Dark World, and it's like, okay, well, I have no weapon and no hammer, so what then? You ended up making like pretty much the same route as everybody else and going down and around through to Hype Cave, and then you know, at that point, like getting the Fire Rod and the hammer at the same time opens the seat up so much. The play, like the God Vision play, would have just been go to Ice Palace, but nobody wanted to do that.
Well, I didn't have flippers at the time, so how would I be able to do that in logic? I mean, I could fake flipper to it, but I'd be out of logic. Because if I remember correctly, flippers were in Pod?
The big chest of Thieves Town.
Oh, Thieves Town.
Yeah,
That's
so they
right.
were Hammerlock.
So they were Hammerlock, that's right.
Yeah, but everybody on the restream ended up full clearing Swamp Palace and Skull Woods and Thieves Town before ever dipping, and Palace of Darkness before ever dipping Ice Palace.
Yeah, I was starting to get worried as I was doing Ice Palace. I'm like, okay, well, I have to full clear ice as much as I want to go mode it. I'm glad I did because I ran into Master Sword in the big chest. But as soon as I saw that cane off of Cold Stone, I'm like, oh, thank God. Because I did not want to have to fancy where else I missed to try to find that. I knew it was on the pedestal because I was able to check that.
Yeah, I mean, if you know dependents, you could have ruled out at least the Marion pet.
True,
Knowing that
because Turtle
probably
Rock was a pendant. Yep.
Yeah, I think the big question marks at that point, like before you found the cane, was like maybe on Armos, maybe on Green Pendant. You know, some really, really gross item locations like that.
Yeah, it couldn't have been on Armos. We got all 3 items on in Eastern.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. At least I remember getting 3.
I don't know. It's like it's really hard to count the items as when you're watching all the runners at once. I'll have to take your word for it.
So yeah, so I was actually, when I did Hype Cave, I was actually considering dipping Swamp for the hint. Looking back, I really should have, because I would have known instantly where the bow was. Instead, I dipped over to Catfish and Zora first.
That's perfectly reasonable, though, to go up to Catfish, and that led to the Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, only because I didn't save and quit out of Zora. Otherwise, it would have taken a much longer time for me to get back to Grave.
Clay and I were talking about were it not for that hint where the bow was, we were wondering how long it was going to take for runners to get to that bow, because Graveyard Ledge, without being able to route in other things like King's Tomb and maybe Bonk Rocks and things like that, it's hard to want to go there right away.
Yep, and I saw the hint that there was a unique item in Spike Cave, and given how many bottles I had, I was considering going out of logic for it, but I'm like, really, like, if I do that for the bug net, I'm gonna be upset with myself. But of course, it actually happens to be progression.
God, no love for the bug net by anyone here. Bug net's the best item in the game.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, I did take a safety ferry over in GT, so I can't completely not.
the hints ended up being very impactful in this seed. Like Marty had checked Graveyard Ledge like early, like before finding the hint and getting the bow really early. And at that point you think like, oh, these other runners, it's going to be forever before they go there, and everybody gets bailed out by that swamp hint. And then that Spike Cave hint, Marty ended up not checking that. And pretty nearly last locationing those boots there for him. Cost him a bunch of time.
Yeah. The hints were helpful, although I kind of wonder how helpful that bow hint really was for me in the end, because not finding that hint would have led me to put off pots for way never would have probably swamp, then ice, would have had the cane much earlier, and since I would never gone up to Catfish and Zora area, would have probably done that next by going in the route over with Graveyard Edge, which would have put me in go mode there.
Yeah, I guess the danger would have been like if you get your sword and Samaria before finding the bow. It makes Turtle Rock look a lot better, because you got bombos at the same time.
Yeah, but I'm still sitting here wondering where the darn cane is.
Like, if anybody had done that, I would not have been surprised to see somebody like full clear Turtle Rock on their way to Spike Cave or something.
Possible. Although it's not the most attractive play.
Yeah, because Book didn't lead to anything important, right? Boots was literally only locking Desert, if I remember.
Right. Yep. Well, the Boots also locked a sword, which everybody ended up getting, I think, except for Marty.
Yeah,
Where was that? Because the only swords I got were I got one in GT. I got one in
Ice Palace, and the other was in
King's Tomb.
King's Tomb. That one. That's right.
The Force Sword was behind Ice Armos, which Marty did end up getting instead of the King.
And I'm right in thinking Silver's was in Mimic Cave.
Ether Tablet.
Oh, crap! I thought I completely forgot that I never did the tablets. And I'm sitting here, I saw that hint. I'm like, oh, Silver's was in Mimic Cave, so everybody did Silverless.
Everybody on the restream ended up doing Silverless. I think some of the other runners in the race though did find them on Ether Tablet. Ether Tablet was like incredibly out of the way. Like there was never any cause for anybody to be up there with the book and a Master Sword until they were going into Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, because I'd seen a hint about something requiring the book that I didn't much care about. So I'm like, okay, so I'm pretty much gonna roll the tablets out.
Yeah, that was the hint for Burner. But if you have the book early and you are up the mountain, you can at least check what's on the Ether tablet, even if you don't get it, and then you have the information about the silvers. So when you know they're there, why don't pick it?
I agree. It's just I never had the book early, so.
Oh right, it was Bonk Rocks. Yeah, but you had to like go up the mountain to get the boots to get the book. It's really hard to see a route where somebody would have gone back up there at that point.
Especially because I'm sure a lot of people probably dipped into Hera rather early just to check some easy items.
Yeah, you could have always gone for the green pendant, which you would have orphaned there if you'd gone in early. And if you didn't have the Moon Pearl at the first trip, you left behind Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave. So if you got that Spy Cave hint and decided to go there immediately, then do the boots checks first, because there was a hint for a unique item behind the boots. And then decided for some reason to do Hookshot Cave, then you might have been up there to get that information, but...
It's possible, but at the same time, I knew I was going to be orphaning the green pendant since I had no actual weapon for Moldorm. So as soon as I realized the item count, I'm like, oh, good. Moldorm and the basement both have dungeon items. I'm out of here.
Yeah, what ended up happening was everybody went to Dark Death Mountain before finding the hammer, except for you, Raylan, who didn't go back up there until you were already in go mode. But I can see what you're talking about. Like, get the hammer and get Spike Cave, and then like, oh, now I'll do Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah. There was a possible route to get that, but it's not a route you usually would do.
Yeah, it's like a fringe route. I think we're about ready to wrap it up. Do you guys have any final thoughts on the seed before we end the restream?
Not really. Just looking forward to watching the VOD back and seeing all the thoughts everyone had.
Yeah, the seed was weird, but I want to just give a shout out to you as commentators and to our tracker today to make this restream possible. It's always a pleasure to be on, and yeah.
Yeah, much love to Oro for solo tracking a 4-person race for us. He did a fantastic job.
Best person ever.
And much love to our runners, Marty, Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna, Raylan Tankier, and Draco Falcone. Thank you guys so much for doing that for us, giving us something to watch here in the afternoon. It's not so easy to be up on the restream, and you guys did a fantastic job. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for all the work you do for the community.
But I think that's going to be it for us. Profate Gamer, what do you got to say?
It has been an absolute pleasure commentating with the voice of Rando these days. Koi, it's been a pleasure to work with you, and of course our runners. putting themselves out there and doing some great things today for a seed that was less than friendly. And of course, as I said before, Aro, you are the person of the 2 hours. I would say the hour, but we've gone over an hour. And of course, thank you to the community for watching and tuning in today.
All right, guys, that's going to be it for us. Thank you guys so much. We will see you later. Make sure to stay tuned to Speed Gaming for more speed running fun. We'll check you later. Bye, guys.
Take care.